Perfect. So, a very good evening to all of you and a warm welcome to Mirelle on madhuisluxury.co.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. It's a real pleasure for me, and I'm really looking forward to this conversation. Especially, it's the first time that I'm actually on a platform in India, so really excited about it.
Wonderful. How nice. And it's a real honor and pleasure for me to host you on madhuisluxury.co. And thank you so much for taking out your precious time. I know you're really busy and you just got over with another talk show, I believe. And I'm so glad you could join me. So thank you so much.
It's all right. It's my pleasure, really. I'm really excited to be here.
Great. So today, Luxury meets Mirelle, who's a managing director at MT Energy Resources. So, as you know, Mirelle, this is becoming like a global luxury show because we've been having people not only from India who have done very well and have exceptionally done well in their lives, but also from internationally. We have had people from USA, Canada, Singapore, Italy, and now we have you all the way from Australia. So I would love to know your story and your journey today, Mirelle.
Oh, that's actually a long story. I'm gonna try to summarize a little bit. So, like you said, I'm Mirelle Toulekima. I'm based in Perth, in Australia, but I've actually worked internationally. So I'm originally from West Africa and from the French-speaking country of Gabon. And it's been a long way because I actually started my career in Gabon, and I partly actually grew up in Gabon and in France as well. So, as you see, there's already a lot of diversity into all of this. So was partly raised in Gabon, partly raised in France, and then I joined one of the biggest multinational in oil and gas, and through this multinational, I've actually worked in different countries. So when I look at it, I've worked in about 6 or 7 countries and visited a little bit more. And at some point, after 12 years in that multinational, I decided I wanted to settle somewhere because I've actually traveled quite a lot. So I wanted to settle somewhere with my family, and we chose to migrate to Australia. So we've been in Australia now for 12 years. And in the process, after a very rewarding career in the oil and gas with 3 different companies, one a European company and a European company, Australian companies, and South African company decided to start into entrepreneurship. And that's how I started the MT Energy Resources company. So I've been in that space as an entrepreneur for 5 years now. I'm getting to 5 years, and it's been a very interesting journey because as you see, it's the oil and gas and the energy sector is mostly male dominated and Caucasian male dominated. So it has been a very challenging journey, but a very good one, a very rewarding one, because I've learned so much, and everything that I've been able to accomplish so far has actually started because of those challenges. And because of the challenges that I had to basically step up and really, try to be the me and not play the victim, because sometimes you can think of yourself as a victim as challenges comes, but I actually decided I'm gonna actually look at it more as learning and as tool for me to step up and do well in life. So in a nutshell, that's me. I mean, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, and yeah. So it's been a very interesting journey for me.
Wonderful. Lovely to know that. And you know what I really liked about your whole journey description is that you said it was about best me and not victory. Because once you try to be your best, victory automatically happens, I believe. So it's a very good message to the audience that you just try to be your best and victory will happen eventually.
Exactly. And it's important to know that, because sometimes what happens is that we want to compare ourselves to others. And that's sometimes, and that's the problem sometimes, and that actually keep us, not really looking at the potential that we have. So it's important that we look inside, we focus on ourselves, become the best that we can be, and then really competing with ourselves, and understanding that it's about being better than what we were yesterday, and really follow our purpose and become the best that we can be.
True, very well said and expressed, and an amazing message for the audience as well, I believe, who are listening to you. And Mirelle, as you said, that the oil and gas industry has been more dominated by men. So how was it? How did you take it? And was there like a gender discrimination and a lot of tough, was it tough for you being a woman, being in that industry? Or what other challenges did you face?
Oh, I faced a lot of challenges, especially at the beginning, because I had different challenges. First of all, when I got into the industry, it was actually not something that I've actually planned, because I was studying, and my dad, who was the main person paying for my studies back then, I was studying in France. He died, and so in the middle of my studies, and I couldn't actually take care of myself anymore. So in a way, I had to cut my study short and start to look for a job. And and what happened is that I was actually studying. I studied information technology, but because I've had also background in chemical and physics before specializing in information technology, I actually find a job in petroleum engineering. So I got trained on the job. And so it came with a lot of challenges. It came with the challenge that, I was seen as somebody who didn't really know the industry. So I was not valued. The other thing is, most of the companies that actually are in oil and gas, they work in English, and English was not my first language. So I had this barrier. So at the beginning, when I started, people were basically not paying attention to me. And I was a woman, I was a black woman, so I had everything against me. And I was not valued at all, especially the men. For them, it was, okay, she's just going to be there, and then at some point, maybe she's going to move to, HR or something like that. And so I had to really work hard and really position myself to be able to get the respect that some type of respect, and it came up with having a different mindset, because when things like that happen to you, you might actually tell yourself that I'm the victim, people are against me, I'm not going to be able to succeed. When I started to sit down, I said, okay, if I'm actually here, it means that I have something to bring. So I need to find out what this something is and focus on that, whatever challenges or whatever, whatever people are saying. Because if I'm here, there's a purpose. So I need to find this purpose and work toward this purpose. And that's what I did. And when I started to change my mindset, things started to shift. And, I started to really, now get some recognition. I started to work hard to understand, the industry a little bit better. Started to see, who are the people that I can rely on to help me to progress in this industry. So I really started to just focus on what's positive and what's going to bring me to the next step instead of focusing on what's going to stop me and what are the challenges that I'm having right now. So it has been a lot of challenges. I mean, gender issue, racism issue, but I didn't focus on that. I said, okay, if I'm here, it means that it's my place. So I need to do it well, and I'm going to focus on that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's been so amazing that you're doing so well and you are an inspiration for so many, I know. I mean, people really admire you and you come out to be a really strong person. And I completely believe there is no substitute for hard work. It's all your hard work and positivity which has got you here, because whatever you transmit, that comes back to you. And also your intelligence, where to be, with whom to be, and how to go about with your profession. So that's really important, I believe, to be successful in life. And I think you have been able to achieve all that and be here where you are today. So you happen to be the global energy consultant and also the founder of the Perth Australian-based consultancy MTE Energy Resources now, right? Presently.
Yeah, so that's what I do. So like I said, when I was introducing myself, I started, so after 20 years in the oil and gas industry working for corporate in different countries, I came back to Australia and decided to, with the experience that I had and the global network that I had, I felt ready to start this venture. And it's still a very small consultancy, but with the network that I have in terms of what I really want to do, because what happened is that in corporate at some point I felt like I was not progressing anymore. So it was more a linear, flat type of progression. And I thought about it and I said, you know what, maybe it's time for me to go and create my own table, because if I can't get to the, to the table, to the high tables, then I'm going to create my table. And then from my table, be able to be and, negotiate with people who are in those tables that I can't access. And that's what's happening right now, is that, people that, I was not blocked. I could actually find another way to get to the table that I wanted.
Lovely. Wonderful. So also you're a global executive mentor and coach, and you Mirelle Toulekima, Globally Leadership and STEM Queen Uganda. And you contribute to several women leadership, technical and think tank groups around the world.
So I mean, based on my experience and all the challenges that I had, working in male-dominated environment, what I decided is that, what I'm gonna do instead of, leaving it, completely like that, is use this experience to be able to coach other women who actually come into the industry. So the young woman, but also encourage women to do like what I did, create their own table and be able to know how they can do that, if they want to start a consultancy or if they want to go into entrepreneurship, really, have them use my own experience, use the failure that I had or the challenging that I had, so that they don't start, from zero. So they already have this basis for them. So that's what I've been doing, and really being involved in different platforms. I started STEM Queen Uganda. It's mostly to be able to reach out to young women in university, but also encourage them to go into all those what we call STEM jobs, which are the jobs that are actually going to grow, especially in Africa, and help them to be able to be economically empowered, because if they can access those well-paid jobs, then it means that economically they don't have to struggle anymore, and they can have a voice as far as society is concerned, because then it gives them a power to be able to participate, instead of dropping out from school because they see the challenge. They have so many challenges. Really, work on their mindset, but also help them to get the right skills and connect them with global organizations, global universities, and so that they can actually grow their expertise, and also grow in their head, in the mindset as well. So that's what STEM Queen is all about. More focus on STEM. But then the Mirelle Toulekima Global Leadership Organization is actually looking at more on coaching and empowering people to understand that they are limitless, and that everything they have to take control of their success, take control of their life, and try to become the best person that they can be, and try to reach self-actualization, and really work. It's again coaching on the mindset, for them to understand that there's actually no limit to their success. The limit is them. If they decide that the limit, they want to limit themselves, that's where their life is going to stop. So it's really challenge them to think big, to dream big, and also act big, because it's not just about dreaming and having all those big plans. It's also the implementation, and that's what we do at the Mirelle Toulekima Global Leadership Organization.
Okay, wonderful, awesome. An ambassador and women empowerment advocate champion with a particular focus on underprivileged communities and non-traditional industries.
Which is what I was mentioning about, is that really reaching out to, for example, for STEM Queen, we don't reach out to girls or women in the capital city. We go in those remote areas where the girls, the grassroots, and really on the place. Either nationally in their own countries, or even for others to really go global as well, because based on my own experience, I had a very humble beginning, and education has actually given me everything, and that's really what I want for those girls, is that to understand the power of education, and be able to really step into this power and get going.
Beautiful, lovely. And you happen to be a widely traveled and with a work experience in Africa, Europe, Asia, and Australia. And I think you have visited more than 30 countries, and you can speak 5 languages.
Yes. So, and the beauty of all of this, working in the oil and gas industry, is that I had to go to work in different countries, and then obviously live in different countries, but also get the opportunity to visit quite a lot of other countries. And for me to be able to understand the culture, so I had to learn some of the languages. For example, when I was in Malaysia, I had to learn how to speak, some basic Malay, because I didn't want to stay in the city. I really wanted to understand, the culture in the region, in the villages, and for that I needed to speak the language. So that's one thing. I've worked in Mozambique, and that's where I picked up Portuguese. Obviously, English was there, and my first language, French, and Spanish as well, which I always liked from school. So it made
awesome.
me, I had to force myself to learn the language if I wanted to understand the people and the culture.
Right. And how tough was it learning a new language? And how much time did it take you to pick up on the language?
I think it depends. It depends on the language, and I think at school already I liked languages, but there's some languages that are not attracting you. For example, I've lived in Holland, but never been able to actually be fluent in Dutch. So even if I knew languages, I was more appealed by other Latin type of languages. And I just had this preference. So, but I think the best way to learn a language, like I said, is to be able to, when you go somewhere, go to the roots, because you know that people are not going to speak your language. They're not going to speak English. They're not going to speak French. So you will be forced to do it, and it can be a quick process when you have to speak a language, when you want to eat. For the basic things, you will learn it quickly. I think in about a month, you'll be able to, if you stay in that kind of environment, you'll be able to speak some basic basic thing. Yeah. So it's basically force yourself to get into, to immerse yourself into a certain environment where you will have to go the extra mile. You will have to go out of your comfort zone to learn the language, and it can be a quick process, because if you need it to do even the basic things, you're gonna learn it. So that's my experience. Yeah.
Right. Maybe we see you sometime coming to India and learning Hindi as well in future.
But that was actually the plan. I was planning a trip to India this year, but obviously with all the corona and things like that, it's gonna happen only maybe hopefully next year. And
we look forward
and I can start to learn some Hindi as well.
Yeah, and I'm sure, with your so much of exposure, experience and travel, I mean, you must have also learned so much and given so much to so many countries and empowered so many people all around the globe. So, Mirelle, you also happen to be the 3 times published author, and especially your second book, Stepping into Your Greatness, 12 Rules for Building Outstanding Life, and developed an authentic leadership method called Dare, Decide, Act, Review, Expand, and launched the Greatness Engineering Movement 2018 and started the Greatness Engineering show. This was an hour show in 2019. So if you can tell us something about your book and about the engineering show, as well as the Greatness Engineering Movement that you launched.
So I've actually wrote 2 books, so 3 books, sorry, and 2 books are linked to the oil and gas, so that they're very technical and really focusing on the oil and gas and energy sector. My second book, which is a self-development book, Stepping into Your Greatness, Travel for Building an Outstanding Life, is a book that it's a very, very concise book, where I've actually elaborate on 12 rules that I thought have worked for me to allow me to become the person that I am right now. And this book is about, describing those rules that I've consciously or unconsciously followed to be able to become the Mirelle that I am today. So that's what the book is about. And as part of this process of, defining success based on what I've actually accomplished myself, I thought about a leadership method which I followed myself without knowing, which is what I call the DARE system, leadership system. So D for decide, A for act, R for review, and E for expense. So why is that? Because everything in our life starts with a decision. So we have to decide what we want to do. We have to decide if we want to go forward. We have to decide if we want to be victims. We have to decide it. So we start everything with a decision, and based on the decision that we take, we put together an action plan to be able to implement whatever we want, something, and then to be able to reach our goal based on the decision that we've taken. And and after that, when we've defined all of this, we have to implement it. And that's the act that's on the there. And after we've done something, sometimes it goes well, sometimes it's wrong. So we have to review and learn from it. And if it's not well done, then we have to come back and take a better decision and go through the process again. If it's okay, then we have to think about stepping to the next level, which is the expansion. So we have to think about expanding ourselves, and we keep doing that anyway in our life. So that's really what this system is all about, and that's how That's how I've functioned all the time, trying to decide and then take action, and then learn from my failure and try to step to the next level of my greatness. And that's what I've been doing so far. And then to follow this same philosophy, I actually started this movement, the Greatness Engineering Movement, which is about, making sure that people become the best version of themselves and expand themselves to the limit. And really, having this philosophy and making sure that people understand that they are the one putting the limit in their own, in their own development, in their own success, in everything that they do, and understand that. And the show is actually to bring people who've actually done that, successful people, so that they can come and share, how they've done that, and inspire people to do the same thing. Because my belief is that, when you can see that people have done it, it gives you more courage, and it inspires you and gives you confidence that you can also do it. And that's why I'm bringing all those successful people or people who have something to share, so that they can inspire my audience to take action and to do the same or even do better.
Wonderful. So on this show, do you have people from international outside only, or you have any Indians also coming on the show by any chance?
I have a global audience, so I've had few Indian. I had Mr. Abraham, was one of the first actually in the show, and then some other people. But I think a lot of the guests that I've brought so far are from Europe, Africa, and North America. So I'm expanding now to India, now that I'm having more connections, to bring more people from India, Asia Pacific, so that it gives another perspective as well to people who are on the other side of the world, and even from Australian as well. So so that's good.
Even from India, I would like to suggest you some very successful people from India who can be a part of your program. And
that would be wonderful.
Yeah, and if you can, Mirelle, tell something about the second book, Stepping into Your Greatness. Any of the few rules or some rules that can be motivational, inspiring for the audience? Any few rules or some of them?
So, I mean, the first rule, is decide that understand that you have greatness inside of you. So you decide to become great. So that's your first decision to make. The second rule is to have faith. So have faith that you're gonna reach your goals. The third rule is to create an action plan, and this action plan goes about a self-assessment of yourself, understand what are your gaps, understand what are your assets, and really start to build on your strength instead of focusing on what you're lacking. So that's one of the things. There's one rule as well, which is about making sure that you always go the extra mile. As instead of just doing what you're asked to, start to always bring the best and go the extra mile. And also the one of the rule is the networking. The networking, I actually talk about having a 360 network, which is having people who are at the same level as you, people also below you, people who are better than you, and so that you cover the full spectrum for you. So having really a 360 people with different skills that you can connect with, and who are going to help you to be your best. And another rule is one of making sure that you understand that communication is really key. Understand that you need to be a good communicator, and to do that you also need to be a good listener. So communicate well and listen to people as well, to be a complete leader as well. And I also talk about as a person to make sure that you brand yourself. The branding, how you come across, is really important, and you have to focus on that. And decide from your decision, decide how you want to come across in the world, and really do everything around that. And also have a mastermind of people who believe in you, people who have the same philosophy as you, people who are always there to make sure that you are accountable for what you're doing. People who are there to push you, to support you when things are difficult. People, mentors, and sponsors. Just this mastermind team that is going to help you grow and bring you to the next level. So those are kind of the key rules that the book is talking about. And it's very concise and really straightforward things that I think people know, but it's always worth reminding them, that this is what you have to focus on.
Lovely and very simple, very motivating and inspiring. I'm sure whoever will read these rules, they are going to make a difference in their lives for sure. And I believe, Mirelle, you are an international speaker, a humanitarian, and you're known globally for being an inspirational woman who enjoys big challenges and embodies authenticity, leadership, positivity, spiritual strength, and feminine power. She is a part of the new wave of women who have embraced spiritual consciousness, mindfulness, as well as non-traditional sectors, globalization, innovation, and digital disruption, who dare and think differently, risk high, and dream big. That's what Mirelle is, I believe.
Yes, it's I mean, it has its all, and I like big challenges, and I think if I didn't, I wouldn't be able to do what I do, because the bigger the challenge, I think the bigger the success as well. So I really like to challenge myself. I really like to do things that people have never done, And for example, I never actually knew that I was going to come and live in Australia. I mean, when I was young, Australia for me was, like going to the moon. And then here I am, and, sometimes people are like, okay. So from where you started to be able to be in Australia and then be an entrepreneur and have all this global influence, it's just mind-blowing. But it's just because I kept pushing myself. And when people challenge me, instead of playing victim, I would say, okay, you challenge me, I'm going to show you that I can go to the next step. And I actually thanked all those people who doubted me, because then they allow me to go always to the next step and challenge myself. Because for me, the big challenge, when you challenge me, I need to prove you wrong. So that's that was really my attitude, and it's been working really well, and I keep doing it. Whatever people would say, okay, you can now just relax and things like that. I said, no, I'm not relaxing. I have to keep going, and the most important thing, I have to bring other people with me, because other women with me.
Lovely.
So whatever failure and everything that I've had, they have to learn from it, so that I want them to actually even do better than me, not have them always behind me. I want them to exceed what I'm doing, and that's really my purpose.
Lovely. And Mirelle, you happen to be recipient of many awards like the Global Tech Entrepreneurship Exceptional Women of Excellence, nominee for WITWA, STEM, WBAF, UAMDC, UAE Africa Mentoring Development Consortium. So,
I had quite a few awards, and international awards, local awards. I had, a STEM award here in Australia, another one when I was working in South Africa, and then entrepreneurship award in Ghana and in Europe, and then also the Women Economic Forum award as well. So really, it's rewarding. It's good to see that you have, whatever you do is appreciated, and people appreciate that. So it's been really good.
So it's been a real pleasure and honor to have with me on madhuri'sluxury.co such an accomplished woman and an international, mentor, coach, and speaker, humanitarian, and what making it a global luxury show. Since, as I said, there have been other people who have also been on madhuri'sluxury.co from US, Italy, Canada, Singapore, and now we have you all the way from Australia. Thank you. It's been a pleasure hosting you on my show, and truly inspiring and motivational. Thank you.
It's my pleasure, and thank you for the opportunity. And I always like to share my story, because we have to share our stories, inspire other people. And what I want to say to the audience is that, if I can do it, you can do it, and you can even do better. So, please, do better.
As you know, the program is about madhuri'sluxury.co. I would like to know your definition of luxury.
So my definition of luxury, when I hear luxury, for me, it's authenticity. You have to be, because luxury is something out of the ordinary. So something authentic, and something that's actually going to distinguish yourself from others. So that's how I see luxury. For me, is really, when you say, okay, you go for luxury, you go for something that's different, something that nobody has, something that's going to distinguish you from, and something that is unique as well.
Lovely, beautiful. And last not the least, your message to the audience.
I think the message to the audience, and especially when we see what's happening right now, with the pandemic and with, all the challenges, there's a lot of negativity going around, and we have also those, those challenges, those things around us. And what I want to tell the audience is to always find even just one positive things in our life and focus on that, and really go after these positive things and forget about all the negativity around and keep going, and pursue these single positive things. And never play victim in anything. We all have something to bring on the table, and we're all part of the solution. So if you have something that you think about that can actually help and have a positive impact in everything that we actually, in this negative, challenging, and volatile environment, please bring it on the table. Don't stay behind, and step into your power.
Yeah, lovely. Be positive, stay positive, and thank you. Take care. Have a great evening.
Thank you very much. Thanks again for the opportunity, and yes, I hope it's going to help and inspire other people.
Sure. Thank you. Bye-bye.